Welcome to Relationships as Spiritual Practice, Bridging the Secular and Spiritual. With your host, Lachelle Lowe Chardet, founder of Mindful Compassionate Dialogue and Wise Heart PDX.
Hello, thank you for being with me today. Today I would like to talk briefly about this topic of remaining grounded when giving and receiving admiration. I want to talk about both sides. When you feel admiration for someone else and when someone else expresses admiration for you. And within that, look at some specific ways of understanding that dynamic, and also some ways to navigate that dynamic so that there's maximum connection. Okay, let's dive in. Let's start with you admiring someone else and wanting to express that and wanting to stay connected. So first, let's just have compassion for how that very admiration, which is a celebration of that person. You might celebrate seeing your values incarnated in that person. You might celebrate what you've learned from them. You might be celebrating the way they move through the world and the way they've helped others. There might be any number of things that you're celebrating in someone when you admire them. So in that moment of meeting that person face to face, let's say in person, you might not be seeing a person in front of you. You might be seeing a projection of ideals. And so when you see a mirage of an ideal person rather than a person, then it makes sense that it would trigger a comparing mind or a thought that you're not enough, that you are less than, that you don't deserve the attention or acceptance of this person, that you failed in their eyes. So without them saying or doing anything, based on that initial projection, it can create a domino effect of disconnect within yourself. So I just want to pause and just have compassion for that. We live in a world in which projection and ideas of what should be or what the ideal person is we're bombarded with those images and ideas. So it would make sense that when you admire someone, your mind gets caught in that trap of there's people out there in the world that are innately bitter than you. Wow. What a violent thought, right? The thought that some people are innately better or worse. And that's the world we live in. Those kinds of thoughts and ideas circulate and are reinforced, unfortunately. So lots of compassion for that. And what's actually happening at a more connected level, probably, is that you're wanting to celebrate. When you're in front of that person that you admire, you might be bubbling over with what you appreciate or celebrate about them and what they have done, what they have inspired in you or contributed to you or others. So that just knowing that maybe can help you ground a little bit. Oh, when I feel admiration for someone, it means I'm celebrating. I have gratitude for their contributions. Okay. Another thing that can help is if you clarify the relationship you have with that person, the boundaries of that relationship, it kind of gives you a space to interact in. And having that kind of container can help your nervous system calm down. It can help focus your energy. So one really simple way to clarify the boundaries in any given relationship or interaction is to identify and cultivate awareness of the needs you would like to meet in that interaction or in that relationship. Or you can say that phrase in a lot of different ways that might help you access it. The values you want to take care of in that interaction, the needs you would like to tend to or focus on in that interaction or relationship. Or you could say the purpose of interacting with that person. Any question in that vein will help you to clarify the boundaries of that relationship. Okay. I have some crows visiting me on my front step here. It's nice to see them out there playing. Okay, so let's move into when you receive admiration, which might come in the form of praise, right? About who you are, how great you are. And so examining both sides can help you to dissolve projections on either side, looking at the same interaction, holding both positions. And bringing to mind right now a moment of someone admiring you. It might be your child or a student, your parents, a best friend, a close friend, someone in your community. So again, just like you, when you are admiring someone, you want to celebrate them. That same thing is happening on the other side. When someone is praising you or expressing their admiration of you, they're wanting to celebrate. It's a form, celebration or appreciation, expressing admiration is a form of honest expression. When that person says, "Oh, I admire you so much," they're saying, "Hey, there's something you're doing in the world that I want to celebrate and appreciate that's contributed to me or to others in a way that I have a lot of gratitude for." Of course, the more vague that celebration is, the more difficult it might be for you to stay grounded. Vague expressions of admiration or praise are much more likely to hook your ego. And when I say hook your ego, I mean hook that part of you that does comparing between people, that part of you that believes in the delusion of separation. And so right there, if your ego is hooked, your mind might move to ideas of being better than, "Oh, I'm better than this person, I'm more evolved." Probably not very consciously, like somewhere in the background, perhaps. And equally in the background, often what immediately follows are inner admonitions of humility. "Oh, don't think you're so great. Remember when you failed at this or the other thing." And so it can be pretty disorienting to have this sudden surge of "I'm better than," pride, inflation, and then immediately after a surge of, "Oh, but I fail, and I don't want this person, I don't want to be a fake, I don't want to have imposter syndrome," right? And so that inner conflict triggers tension and disconnect for you. So much so, you might even be tempted in the midst of that person's celebration to tell a story about mistakes that you've made regarding that same thing they're trying to celebrate and how you failed in some attempt to move away from your own inner conflict and internal discomfort. It's sad when you're swept away there because this other person then isn't seen and heard for the gratitude and celebration they want to express. Some of my most beautiful moments have been when I'm trying to celebrate someone and they just turn to me and say something like, you're so grateful. It was so helpful for you. You have so much appreciation. Just to name my experience, gives that sense of being seen and heard and received, and it's very satisfying. So my suggestion then is that in that moment of receiving admiration or praise, that you attempt to do the same, that you offer simple context statements like, oh, you're really grateful. There's something I've done that you really appreciate, right? Something simple like that. Or you can offer empathy guesses. Sounds like you're excited that I was helpful with that project. Sounds like you feel a lot of gratitude for my contribution. Sounds like I've made a difference in your life with that. Sounds like you value what you've learned. It's been big. It can be really simple, like a context statement, like there's something big there for you. Or it can be more refined, like I'm hearing maybe you feel touched and moved because you've enjoyed a deep sense of healing with the work we've done together. Anything you say that both helps you to move out of the mind, oh, this admiration and praise is about me being better, or is about me, period. And into the mind, this person is trying to celebrate and they want to be heard in their celebration. And when that happens, when you can stay focused in that person's celebration and really understand what is it that they're trying to express, that they're trying to celebrate with you, you not only contribute to their needs for celebration and being heard and seen, you also contribute to your own needs for meaning and purpose. You really understand how something you've done met a certain set of needs for someone else. And that's very empowering. Also helps you to be of deeper service, gives you a sense of meaning and contribution, and helps you stay grounded. So from this grounded place in yourself, neither praise nor blame nor admiration can move you away from the most basic truth of your unconditional self-worth and that unconditional worth of the other person. This place in which comparing and measuring doesn't even make any sense. A place where you recognize the shared beauty and miracle of the life in you and the life in them. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this has been helpful and served you in some way. Radiating love from my heart to yours.
You can find free resources and information about mindful, compassionate dialogue, as well as Wise Heart's live offerings and self-paced workshops online at www.wiseheartpdx.org. You can also connect with Wise Heart on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, or by emailing info@wiseheartpdx.org.